For some time now, reading through the chronological Bible in a year, I've been spending time in the books of Kings and Chronicles, and I have to admit they're probably not my most favourite Old Testament books. These detail seemingly unending lists of kings of Israel and Judah, their successes, and more often than not their failures, due to them either doing what is pleasing in the Lord's sight or not doing what is pleasing in the Lord's sight, i.e. turning away from God and worshipping the old pagan ways. But today's passages are ones which I think perhaps tell us a little bit about how history or autobiography may be written today. We have two accounts. The first is 2 Kings chapter 15 verses 32 to 38 and Chronicles chapter 27 verses 1 to 9, which cover the same king, King Jotham, ruling in Judah. Jotham is son of Uzziah, and he becomes king at age 25. And these accounts tell us that he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, i.e. he followed the Lord's commandments. But the way these two accounts of this history is written emphasises or spins a more nuanced, different version. In the King's version, we read that Jotham did what was pleasing in the sight of the Lord. He did everything his father Uzziah had done, but he did not destroy the pagan shrines, and the people still offered sacrifices and burned incense there. He rebuilt the upper gate of the temple of the Lord. And there it pretty much ends. So what we read about him is that like his father, except he didn't destroy the pagan shrines, and the people still offered sacrifices and burnt incense. But he did rebuild the upper gate of the temple, so there's a positive. But there the account ends. In Chronicles, however, we read the following. Jotham did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight. He did everything his father Uzziah had done, except that Jotham did not sin by entering the temple of the Lord, but the people continued in their corrupt ways. So again, Jotham still did everything pleasing in the Lord's sight, and he even sinned less than his father, but it was the people who just continued in their corrupt ways. There is a subtle difference when you look at the passages closely. Nothing in the Chronicles version about how he should have taken down the pagan shrines, which he should have done as leader and king, when we just read that the people continued to be corrupt. So he should have perhaps been more actively following the Lord and tearing down the pagan shrines. Here the chronicler continues. Not only do we hear that Jotham rebuilt the upper gate in the temple, which the King's version talked about, but he also rebuilds walls, builds towns, fortresses and towers. So we get perhaps a more fuller picture about the good that Jotham does. Now, we don't know which account contains more truth, or whether it's just a fuller description of his reign. But it got me thinking about how we present history. What do we leave in? What do we leave out? What emphasis or spin do we put on events? And how do we weigh these accounts? How do we, today and in the future, present our own histories? It may be our own current national history and issues. Who will get to write that? And are they the right person? And this also speaks to us about ourselves personally. If we were writing our autobiography, or in years to come if someone were to write a book about us, how would we be represented? How true a picture would we paint of ourselves or others? Perhaps that's something for us to ponder on. I'm, however, grateful that whatever good side I want to present myself, or how honest I need to be to show the not so palatable parts of me, I thankfully have a God who, knowing me inside and out, warts and all, still loves me. a God who does not spin. He doesn't need to, for he created us and he loves us, and crucially forgives us when we do not always do what is pleasing in the Lord's sight. Amen.